well as this video tutorial, we've also got the dimensions, the layouts for the sheets, and also some written instructions that you can download in a document below. And before you get started on the project, it's important to make sure you've got the correct tools and type of drywall. So the tools you're going to need are a bottle of PVA glue, a knife with a Stanley blade, and a metre long ruler. Although if you don't have one of those, you can also use a tape measure with a straight edge. And then for the drywall, I'm using a board that's 12.5mm thick. Has a square and not a tapered edge. It's paper wrapped on both of the two long edges, and in total measures 1.2 by 2.4 metres. However, you can also make out offcuts or break the sheet down, for example, to fit into a couch. And so that's everything you're going to need, but this is how you make it. Okay, so the first thing we have to do is break the sheet down into smaller pieces we can get the components out of. Step number 1, marking and scoring the top layer of paper. So I'm going to measure in at 2 points from the factory edge. And then I can connect the marks by scoring the paper. And now to break it up, in step 2, we're going to snap the board and cut through the back layer of paper. And I found the easiest way to do this is to lift the board up on its end. So I'm going to support one side and then apply force to the other. And then once it's snapped, you can cut through the back with a knife, repeating for all the other pieces. And now I've broken down my sheets, I need to get the components out of these pieces. And that's going to follow the same sort of process as you've just seen. Step number 3 is marking and scoring this top layer of paper. And 4 is snapping and cutting back. Okay, so now we've got the 3 components we're going to make the coffee table out of. So step number 5 is going to be to attach these 2 base pieces together by cutting a slot. And there's 2 important things to note here. The first is that you need to mark both sides of the paper before you remove any of the pieces. And the second is that you need to be really conscious about which side you're cutting the slot from. And that's because you want this paper edge to be touching the floor in the final table. So I'm going to measure from both edges. And once each side has been marked out, to remove the central piece, I'm just going to press harder and harder, making sure to alternate the side I'm working on. And then after a few cuts, this piece should just break free. And so now these 2 pieces should fit inside of each other. I'm going to make sure that's a permanent connection, adding a bit of PVA glue to both pieces. And for step number 7, to attach the top to the base, I'm going to use PVA glue also. But it's really important to make sure here that the top edge is perfectly flat. Because if it's not, the top isn't going to sit flat and there's going to be less surface area for the glue. And so you can either do this using the base of your knife or by rubbing a flat board against the edge that you don't mind getting plaster on. And then once it's flat, I can just add a bead of glue along all the top edges. And then a weight to hold it in place. And then after a few hours, and once the glue's dried, you can remove the weight and the coffee table is done. And it's really, really strong and sturdy as is. But if you want to make the top surface easier to clean and you want to seal the edges, you can apply either a layer of varnish or wax. So whereas before, where a mug would have stained the paper, on this varnish surface, those same marks can easily be wiped off. Meaning the coffee table is now finished and ready to be put to use. 'Cause all I need are these drywall